প্রিয় দর্শক সবাইকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি প্রথম আলো স্টুডিও থেকে। আজ 24শে জানুয়ারি আন্তর্জাতিক শিক্ষা দিবস। আন্তর্জাতিক শিক্ষা দিবসের এবারে প্রতিপাদ্য হচ্ছে লার্নিং ফর লাস্টিং পিস এবং এটা নিয়ে আমরা আজকে আলোচনা করতে চাই। Hello everyone, we are very happy to have two special guests in our program in this Education Day program, role of UCSI University Bangladesh branch campus for serving higher education in Bangladesh. So we have Mr. Professor Saleh, Dr. Muhammad Saleh bin Jafar. He is the Pro Vice Chancellor of UCSI University Bangladesh, and we also have Provost and Registrar Mr. Chan Jo Jim, UCSI Bangladesh. So I would like to welcome you both in our studio.
Thank you very much.
So thank you for coming us. Mr. Saleh, we'd like to start with you. UC University is a prestigious Malaysian university. So what motivated you to come to Bangladesh, where already we have more than 100 private universities and public universities?
Thank you very much for having us for this International Education Day. UCSI being a global universities in Malaysia, and we are one of the top universities in the country. And we have something to offer to Bangladesh higher education. I know for a fact that enrollment rate at the universities in Bangladesh is only at 17%, which is actually way below the global enrollment rate for the universities. And meaning to say that there are so much room for our Bangladesh youth to actually get enrolled into, but they don't have enough university to enroll to. And this is why we see there are so many Bangladesh students actually moving overseas seeking for higher educations. And our value proposition is very simple, that we are a global university. We are coming to Bangladesh to offer a global education right in front of the door of our Bangladesh students.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Joe, so what he said there is a very simple proposition.
Yeah.
So would you like to elaborate a little bit more what is this value proposition UCSI Bangladesh is proposing in Bangladesh?
All right. Thanks for having us here, ourselves, and thanks for your question. Indeed, it's a very fantastic opportunity to be here and to address what and how we can give back to the nations. And UCSI being 36 years in the industry, didn't just bloom as it is. It took time to develop, it took time to embrace and inculcate change, and it took time for people to bring us into the limelight. And this cannot just be done by just Malaysians. We have got international students, and one of the hallmark of being an international institution is we have got Bangladeshi students in our midst. We have recently graduated about 280 students, throughout the last, at least last 10 years. And the students, we listen to the students and get their feedback. Why not you come to our country? Our country has potential. Then that's when in 2019 we started to embark on some transnational education exploration. And we found that Bangladesh is very responsive to an idea, and towards Smart Bangladesh 2040, you also want to open all sectors for investors and knowledge transfer. So a few investors came and we met, and we have in the last 4 years discussed quite a lot, 2019 to 2024. All right, so that's when we actually have got a lot of exchange in ideas. So the long story short, over here there's a need. Your fellow citizens felt that there's a need, and your government is opening up to fill all these needs, where now that the dream has already taken the next step for us to be able to establish through the through the approval of the Prime Minister, and then also by the Ministry of Education. So following the Cross-Border Higher Education Act, which is in favor for us and the country, we pursued this journey. And to ensure that all the checklists takes into place is also in favorable of our Malaysian counterpart, the Malaysian Qualification Agency and the Ministry of Higher Education, to work together. And eventually when both things match, that's where the baby comes in. And we came in last year with an official launch by the Minister of Higher Education and the Minister of Education here and the Deputy Minister. And now, in fact, the deputy minister, we like to congratulate him. He's already a minister. So we have this journey of knowing each other from the birth of the university here as a branch campus until now as you'll be our third semester upcoming, and that's how we want to embrace our International Education Day. And this is the reason why we're here. There's a need for the country.
All right. Thank you. প্রিয় দর্শক, আমরা আসলে কথা বলছি ইউসিএসআই বাংলা ইউনিভার্সিটি, মালয়েশিয়ান ইউনিভার্সিটি, এটি বাংলাদেশে একটি চ্যাপ্টার, তাদের ব্রাঞ্চ আছে, সেখানে ওনারা কাজ শুরু করেছেন। এখন তৃতীয় সেমিস্টারের ভর্তি প্রক্রিয়া শেষ হয়েছে, আগামী সপ্তাহে ওরিয়েন্টেশন হবে এবং ছাত্ররা ক্লাস করতে শুরু করবে। ইতিমধ্যে আমাদের সঙ্গে এখানে ওনাদের ভাইস চ্যান্সেলর এবং প্রভোস্ট রেজিস্ট্রার আছে, তাদের সঙ্গে আমরা কথা বলছিলাম এবং যেমনটি ওনারা বলেছেন যে বাংলাদেশের অনেক ছেলে মেয়ে ওখানে পড়তে যায়, ওনারা দেখেছে, অনেক গ্র্যাজুয়েশন করেছেন ওনাদের ইউনিভার্সিটিতে এবং তারাই বলেছে যেহেতু বাংলাদেশে অনেক সুযোগ আছে, বাংলাদেশের অনেক ছেলে মেয়ে এখনও ইউনিভার্সিটিতে পড়ার জন্য বিভিন্ন দেশে চলে যায়, সেজন্য তারা অনুরোধ করেছে বাংলাদেশে যদি তারা ক্যাম্পাস করতে পারে তাহলে আমাদের ছেলেমেয়েদের জন্য ভালো হবে। এবং যেমনটি চ্যান জো বললেন যে ওনারা এই গত কয়েক বছর ধরে এটি একটি প্রসেসের ভিতর দিয়ে বাংলাদেশ সরকারের যথাযথ অনুমোদন নিয়ে ইউসিএসআই বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় বাংলাদেশ চ্যাপ্টার কাজ শুরু করেছে। সো প্রফেসর সালেহ, সো UCSI is the top 1% universities in the world. You are maintaining a high quality in Malaysia. Do you think you can maintain the similar equal level of excellence in Bangladesh branch?
I think this is a very important question. In fact, one of the most frequently asked questions. Naturally, people are concerned about our ability to replicate the qualities that we are able to offer in Malaysia. And in fact, that's the reason why I'm here, and also the reason why Mr. Joe is also here, because we have our own brand, and we have our own policies, we have our own standards that we actually follow, and we are here to replicate as much as we can. In fact, we can even enhance what we have here. People from Bangladesh here have their own opportunities which may not be available in Malaysia, but whatever experience that we carry, I think as mentioned by our provost that we have had these journeys of the last 36 years, and we are very successful, and we are not successful because we say that we are successful, because there are government agencies, Ministry of Education have a good report that says we are successful. And one of the reasons that we are very successful is that our graduates are actually mostly able to find jobs and employment, and we have a very high employability rate of the last 3 years. We have achieved 100% as reported by Ministry of Education, and we have a special what we call as a recipe, how we do this, and we are going to replicate this recipe. And one of the biggest recipe that we have is actually trying to not just giving the students theoretical knowledge in the class, but we are also giving them a good range of exposures with the industries, and we are working very, very closely with industry. And this is why with a short duration that we are here already, besides having the collaboration with a lot of organizations, businesses from Malaysia and also many other countries, we also started to have, in fact, we already have many agencies here in Bangladesh already signed an agreement with us and memorandum of understandings that will allow our students here in Bangladesh to learn from, to get similar experiences of our Malaysian counterparts. So we are here to make sure that we can replicate as much as possible, maybe even more, with the local context that we have in Bangladesh. So, we strongly believe that we are moving in the right directions.
Yeah.
And after, sorry. Yeah,
Thank you. It's okay. Mr. Joe, so you are highlighting the international connection, global faculty, and just Professor Saleh said that you have already connected with the local community and others, and you mentioned that the Bangladesh is starting its journey towards a smart Bangladesh by 2041. So do you think how our students who are the future career prospect, how you can connect this with global market and local market? He said that in last 3 years you are excellent performance of 100% employability.
Okay. The recipe, I can just hint one of the thoughts that everybody can put in mind is called the Praxis model, okay? Praxis, Praxis. So this is where we bring in industry collaboration, international faculties from around the world, industry speakers, industry leaders. In fact, even in our board of advisors, it's just not about academic, it's about experience and high accolades individuals who did well in the industry, who will advise us in our curriculum, our deliverables, and engagement with students. So in a normal framework where students come into a university, their mindset is just study, score for exam, and go get a job. That is very traditional. But now we make it a high impact in the high impact education delivery by inculcating industry. Because when they graduate, sometimes they are not in the know. They need guidance, they need direction. So when we infuse some of this praxis model into our curriculum, students will get exposure from a very as early as year 1. So by the time they graduate in year 4, they already have got 4 times the experience to get a job compared to a student who just come in, study, get one semester of industry training, and they go for their job placement. But please know that any delivery or deliverables is reciprocal, which means as much as we give the recipe to the students, they must practice, they must be diligent enough to go through the journey with us.
Yeah.
And this is when we can see in the working world, there are people who has very big dreams, but they give up after a short distance of our journey. But we need to know that when we go into this working world or when they are studying, is a marathon of a long journey rather than a short sprint race. So all these values is also tied back to our university's vision, mission, and objectives. And in these objectives, we have got core values embedded in our system. So to find out more, please drop by, come and talk to us, come to our campus. We have got all loads of knowledge to be shared. And again, I think Professor will think the same. Knowledge is just not run by one person, but it takes a whole village to educate a person. So it's not him coming alone, it's not me coming alone. We have a group of Malaysians who are already running the campus, and you want to have the feel, the culture will be a separate element, but we don't take culture as a barrier. The culture is where we understand, we brainstorm the moving forward together, and how we drive this through with the Bangladeshi students. So for this part of the recipe that you want to know, that's where I would say more or less the success of internationalization and in Malaysia, how they grew this success is what we are bringing here. All right. So it's until you taste the bread, you will know it.
Yeah.
But you can just see and smell. That is the difference. So please drop by to be able to taste what is good.
Thank you. I already visited your campus, so future definitely I will go. প্রিয় দর্শক, আমরা কথা বলছি বাংলাদেশে ইউএসআই বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় বাংলাদেশ ব্রাঞ্চ নিয়ে, এবং এখানকার ভাইস চ্যান্সেলর এবং প্রভোস্ট এখানে আছে। আপনারা খেয়াল করেছেন, ওনারা বলেছেন যে ওনারা বিশ্বের 1% টপ ইউনিভার্সিটির মধ্যে আছেন ইন্টারন্যাশনাল র্যাঙ্কিং, এবং সেটা নিয়েই ওনারা বাংলাদেশে এসছেন। বাংলাদেশেও এই কি কালচারটা ওনারা করতে চান, এবং সেটা যেটা বললেন যে দুজনেই বললেন যে শুধুমাত্র ওনারা দিতে চাইলেন, আমরা যদি নিতে না চাই তাহলে এটা হবে না, কিন্তু উভয় পক্ষ যদি আমরা একত্রে কাজ করি তাহলে যে সাফল্য ওনারা পেয়েছেন, ভাইস চ্যান্সেলর স্যার বললেন যে ওনারা গত 3 বছরে ওনাদের ছাত্রদের 100% এমপ্লয়েবল করতে পেরেছেন ইন্টারন্যাশনাল মার্কেটের জন্য, লোকাল মার্কেটের জন্য। সেরকম সাকসেস ওনারা বাংলাদেশেও করতে পারবেন। সো প্রফেসর Saleh, so UCI Bangladesh, you are emphasizing on igniting potential, unleashing inner innovation, inner innovators. So how do you plan to foster creativity, entrepreneurship, and research among Bangladeshi students, which is a little bit less in our university atmosphere?
Again, you're asking a very interesting question and very important one. UCSI University have been practicing what we call as outcome-based education. And what outcome-based education refer to is actually a student-centered learning. So we no longer use a traditional way of teaching where the students come and listen to the lectures, and then they go home and study on their own and provide tutorials, and provide what we call as a rote learning. But being a student-centered learning or outcome-based education is actually trying to put individual students' capacities, individual students' interests, individual students' aspiration into practice. And the way we approach educating the students is that it's not only about knowledge. We know that there are so many skills, social skills, interpersonal skills, leadership skills, ability to work in a team. It is not about knowledge in a specific field, but how do you function in the workplace? How do you function in the community? How do you actually show some leaderships? And therefore, we are providing what we call as an opportunity for them to actually express themselves and to be, to explore on their own. And this is why a lot of our approaches in teaching is based on real life examples. We have been actually implementing this what we call as a real project-based learning, real life projects, contextual learning. And this is where we actually work very, very closely with industries, because we know that our lecturers may not have enough exposure with industries and the real challenge that we have out there. And this is where the immersive learning that we are providing to our students and will be very, very useful and very, very beneficial. And not only that, the other concern that we have, we know for the fact that now the world is actually getting smaller and smaller. And we are preparing Bangladesh students not only for Bangladesh workforce, but it's also for global workforce. And hence, the ability for them to think globally, to have a global outlook, to remove the culture as wherever there is a barrier in the culture, they need to actually be able to learn very quickly and adapt very quickly. So, I think, I feel that we have a lot of values that we can actually share with our university students, and we just hope that they can really come and join us and, experience this different environment of learning that we can actually provide them to be.
Thank you. So, Job, you have 2 semesters student, you are working with them. So, what types of challenges you are facing, and how you, from your end, would you please tell our audience that how you are thinking of ensuring smooth operation as well as academic excellence of UCSI Bangladesh?
All right, thanks for the question. From my experience of managing students, being with them personally, one-on-one, if you are looking at certain, like what we call challenges that students face, wellness, and sometimes mental health, these are all real-time experience where students don't really face during their school times, because now they are adults, or mostly 17 and above, and they are supposed to be independent, and yet we need to hold their hands. So being able to manage this generation, and what the university caters is just not, again, outcome-based education or just teaching, but we go beyond. We look at certain areas, like some students cannot just be caught up just studying all the time. They need to release their tension, and express their emotions. So we have got areas like we have got library for them to continue to express their academic learning in different way. We've got the sports zone, is it we call it?
Sports zone.
The sports zone.
And students club.
Yes, and students clubs and societies for them to embark on the journey. And with all this in place, we also got to think of the safety, the security, because some sports includes like cricket, going for badminton and soccer. They need to go beyond the campus to have proper fields in certain areas. So there will be a journey of 1 or 2 km. So all these are put in place to ensure that students' welfare and wellness are taken care of. Because eventually, if anything happens to the students, the parents will still come to us. Yeah. So likewise, if short to say that certain demands may be different from the campus here versus in Malaysia, but my assessments of both countries, characteristics and nurturing concept are still the same. It may be less required in Malaysia, but it can be more here. So because the significance of all this to imbue the most smooth running is to be there for the students, to hear from the students. So we have dedicated lecturers who are also the mentors of clubs and advisors of clubs. So again, there's an integration between students and different lecturers from different areas of specialization. So again, although it's just an offset, like you say, we have got adventure club. Adventure clubs also like it's nothing to do with business, nothing to do with IT, but the self-expression of where you want to go, how do you plan for your next journey. So the adventure club, we are also discussing on how do we take students in within Dhaka, outside Dhaka, and eventually internationally. Yeah. So to understand the students, to be able to look at their welfare from this angle, it's just not classroom based. It will always be beyond the classroom. And who knows, through the exposure and opportunity, they may learn and take back things into their case study, into the outcome-based education with Prof says, because outcome is the end of is what you want to achieve, but how do you get there is a fantastic, right. Mm-hmm. And once again, I'd like to just wrap up these questions whereby what we practice in Malaysia will be brought here. Mm-hmm. So we have got different departments like students affairs over there will be students affairs here. And there are many other different departments to look at, again, how we manage student welfare and the smoothness of the organization. So definitely we also will need professionals on board. So it's not looking at just enrolling students, but there's a lot of avenue to bring in potential and professionals, potential to bring professional staff on board as part of the nation building initiative.
Thank you. Thank you. So we are almost at the end of the program. So Professor Saleh, I would like to know what is the long-term vision and an aspiration for the UCSI Bangladesh, and how do you see that in future UCSI is impacting Bangladeshi development in higher education landscape?
No, I believe in the first place that we are here to stay for a very simple reason, because we have a very good value proposition to Bangladesh, students and also the future. And by having quality, we believe this can be done only through quality education. There is no shortcut, there is no quick things here and there. The only way of providing quality education that will make us stay and will make us contribute to stay. And I believe that the potentials in Bangladesh is actually huge. And Bangladesh has one of the highest rate of growth in economy, the highest rate in GDP, and with the kind of populations that you have. I've basically observed three important characteristics of Bangladesh students. They are very hardworking, they are very intelligent, and they are very respectful of the elders and also their teachers and counterparts. And these three basic ingredients will make educations will be more meaningful and will come here to stay. And I also believe that Bangladesh in the future will only export. We'll have a bigger exports in human resource that is actually of highly skilled. Nowadays there are so many low-level skills that is actually being exported. But with the kind of talent, the kind of populations, and the kind of gap that between potentials and what we currently have now, we have a lot of work to do. And I believe Bangladesh, to be honest with you, needs more of UCSI Bangladesh branch campus. So because with only one institution like us can only do so much, but there are so much rooms, so much space that I think the public universities, even the current private universities, are not able to fill. I learned that so many good private universities here are not able to accept all the students, qualified students, to come and study in their good institutions. So there is a good indication that the demands are there, the quality of students are there, but the opportunities are not available. So I think we believe that we are here to stay for a long haul, and we are here also to be part of the growth of building Bangladesh in the future.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joe and Professor Saleh. Thank you for being with us in this International Education Day 2024 program.
Thank you.
প্রিয় দর্শক, আমরা এতক্ষণ কথা বলেছি বাংলাদেশে ইউসিএসআই ইউনিভার্সিটি বাংলাদেশ ব্রাঞ্চে প্রো ভাইস চ্যান্সেলর এবং প্রভোস্টের সঙ্গে। ওনারা যে কথাটা বলতে চেয়েছেন শেষের দিকে যেটা বললেন সেটা হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশের অনেক পটেনশিয়াল আছে, আমাদের ছেলেমেয়েরা ভালো অনেক পরিশ্রম করতে পারে, তারা খাটতে পারে, তারা বড়দেরকে শ্রদ্ধা করে এবং সব কিছু গুণ তাদের মধ্যে আছে। কিন্তু ওনারা লক্ষ্য করেছেন যেটি সত্য যে আমাদের পাবলিক ইউনিভার্সিটি বা প্রাইভেট ইউনিভার্সিটিতে আমরা আমাদের সমস্ত ছেলেমেয়ে যারা উচ্চশিক্ষায় শিক্ষিত হতে চায় তাদেরকে সুযোগ দিতে পারি না। কাজে এখানে অনেক সুযোগ আছে উচ্চশিক্ষায় কাজ করার। এবং যেটি ওনারা বললেন যে মালয়েশিয়ার থেকে ওনারা ওনাদের অভিজ্ঞতা এবং বিশ্বের টপ 1% ইউনিভার্সিটির যে র্যাঙ্কিং যেটা নিয়ে ওনারা টপ 1% হয়েছেন সেই প্র্যাকটিসগুলো নিয়েই বাংলাদেশে এসেছেন এবং সেটি দিয়েই বাংলাদেশকে স্মার্ট বাংলাদেশ গড়ার পথে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাওয়ার জন্যই তারা এসছেন। তারা এখানে দীর্ঘদিন বাংলাদেশে থাকতে চান, বাংলাদেশের সঙ্গেই বাংলাদেশের এগিয়ে যাওয়ার সঙ্গী হতে চান। আবার দেখা হবে কোনো একটা অনুষ্ঠানে, কোনো একটা সময়ে, আবার প্রথম আলো স্টুডিও থেকে। ততদিন পর্যন্ত ভালো থাকবেন, খুশি থাকবেন, আনন্দে থাকবেন। ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে।